Gentlemen, quite a reunion. So the subject today are the Brabham years when Mr. Bernard Charles Ecclestone was the boss, was the owner of the team. And, well, what kind of team boss was he?
I don't consider I was ever the boss.
Who was the boss then?
You were.
This bloody lot.
No, I'm sorry. He was the master.
Yeah.
There was no, you couldn't argue with him anything. So when he said, this is the way to go, the way to go.
Herbie, you were there from day one. 1971, was it, when Bernie first turned up?
71 or 72, yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah,
And how was it?
Well, as Nicky said, he was the boss. He used to come down and see us at the factory on a Wednesday. That was the only time he used to come down, Wednesday lunchtime. And everyone, panic, panic, Bernie's on his way. Well, Bernie wasn't Bernie in those days, it was Bernard Charles. But as I say, Bernie's here, my God. Make sure everything's clean, make sure everything's straight, make sure you're working, no hanging around. Yeah, tough master.
Why Wednesday afternoons, Bernie? What were you doing the rest of the week?
Trying to get a few quid to keep the team going.
Yeah. When did you turn up? You were 78, I think, wasn't it, Charlie?
May 78, I joined just before the Swedish Grand Prix. I got there on the Monday when the car came back from Sweden.
So I'm assuming then from 1978 onwards, you never had an illegal car, did you? When Charlie was there checking it all
Definitely not. Never.
Never?
Never.
And what about this fan car?
Excuse me, Charlie.
We never had an illegal car. Or did he say legal car?
No, we never had a legal car.
Never.
We never had a legal car.
So I hear stories of heavy bodywork, heavy seats, rolling lead down the exhaust pipes as it's going to the Way Bridge.
Oh, true.
Is it true?
Yeah. But Charlie was part of the team.
Yeah.
He did all that.
So he was poacher, now he's the gamekeeper, yeah?
Correct. This is the problem now we have.
These are only rumours, Martin.
I know
Just remember that. Yeah. But I do remember some fiberglass bodywork standing upright in a very strong wind in Montreal once. Who was it that came and... It was David York, wasn't it? David York said, really, you need to speak to Gordon. That's much too heavy. Look how it's standing up in the wind.
A fan car.
Yeah, so it got banned. Did one race, you won the race?
Gordon Murray designed this fan car. And I was the first to drive it. And we went to Brands Hatch.
Yep.
And I drove around understeer like hell. And then Gworgy, the mechanic, warmed the car up again. And it went up and down and up and down. I've never seen anything like this. So me not being so stupid, I said I put one gear down and go with high revs through the corner. And suddenly the understeer was gone, my neck was hanging out, and that thing was going like hell. Then Bernie took the car to understop. And then he said to these guys, full tank. I said, what do you mean? Qualifying full tank, full tank. I went to him and said, are you crazy? Why the hell I need full tank? I want to see how quick this car is. I want to win this race. Full tank. I qualified with full tank, 8, 9, 10, I have no idea. I said, are you nuts or what? No, I had to do this, wait for the race. So the race started, I went off at the start, Pironi broke his oil cooler, all the oil was around the circuit, and I remember my revs business, put the gear down, full throttle, over the oil, passed everybody into the lead, and won the race. And then Bernie said, you know why you qualified full tank? If you would have been quick, we would have been disqualified before the race.
But I remember saying to Herbie, that Andretti, young lady was with Andretti, and nobody really knew her. I knew who she was. And she came along on the pit wall and was standing there seeing what was going on. And I said to her, get that bloody car in. I said, you're going to run out of, this is for qualifying, we're going to run out of fuel. Get it in, for Christ's sake. So in came the car and we made out we were filling up with the tank.
And all the other drivers were complaining you were throwing stones at them.
Andretti started.
Yeah.
He told Colin Chapman, people are going to get killed. These bloody stones are coming out of the car.
BT46B, I believe it was called.
Yeah, there's another little story with regards to that car. The FIA actually came down to the Brabham factory to check, to make sure it was legal or illegal. And what we had to do, had to start the car up, and they were measuring the air going in through the radiator. And they were trying to measure how far the car would go down. And I was actually there revving the engine up, but I had my feet holding up the skirts. And so, of course, the car didn't move at all. And the FIA declared the car legal.
And Teddy Mayer in the pit lane, because him probably sitting there, and the car's going, Teddy Mayer said, look at it. I said, look at what?
So this fan was actually sucking the car out to the track.
Absolutely.
That much, up and down, up and down.
I wonder why they banned it.
It's
Ban
burning.
it.
You withdrew it.
We withdrew it.
Before they banned it.
No.
They would never ban
It was
it.
never
It was never
banned.
banned.
It was
Well, they
legal.
never
Never
got a chance to ban it
discussed.
because you withdrew it, no?
We withdrew it. They couldn't have banned it because it complied with all the regulations.
But just to be
Probably
reasonable.
the only, it did comply.
Going back, I enjoyed Brabham before everybody. I enjoyed Brabham in Brazil in 1974 when they came to do a first Formula One race there, and I worked like a mechanic there, help everybody in the team, and I have no passes to come next day and have to sleep inside the box. They closed me inside there.
Same problem, no passes.
So your first victory under Bernie was 1974 in Kyalami, I think. Big day, I imagine.
Yeah, it was a very big day.
Who drove the car?
Reutemann.
Reutemann was a threat. I remember I was driving the Ferrari. There was a year later when he had this fantastic, Brabham, nice-looking white car. He really gave me a hard time. I remember.
Who was the best driver you had driving for you at Brabham, Bernie?
Me. we never had any bad drivers.
That's good.
What we had was really nice people. I'm pleased to say we have good with them today. We're friends, you know. So they're all good people.
Let's talk about 1979, Nicky, when you're out in a practice session and you decide you've had enough. You come in and retire. I mean, how bizarre can you imagine that happening now?
This is a long story, because Mr. E, as still today, said to me in the beginning of the year, I'm not going to pay you the money you want, because we're negotiating my new contract. Then I said, fine. So then I went to Ron Dennis and the other team managers in the paddock, said, I'm free, you want me to drive? And they said, no, you don't even need to come to us, because the money you want, Bernie told us, we will never pay. And then I thought, so he is the powerful man here, so I have to stay with him. And to make a long story short, Parmalat was the sponsor, we negotiated forever. I called Tansi, the boss, and said, listen, I'm not driving unless Bernie pays me this amount of money. And then Tansi, we went there to see it. He wanted to sign the team contract. And then Tansi said, is Nicky driving? Bernie said, sure, Nicky's driving. I said, no, I'm not driving because I have no contract. And then Tansi said, you guys sort it out. I go out of my office and you sort it out, and that's it. So then Bernie looked at me and said, what do you want? 2 million, and not 500,000. He looked at me in a nasty, sympathetic way, I have to say. He looked at me and he signed.
You got 2 million.
So then when I signed this, it was the most money you could get, especially from Mr. E.
From anybody those days.
Yeah, this you have to achieve. And when I signed, I really didn't feel happy, because the fight with Bernie took me such a long time. 4 months. I mean, when he came in the morning in the pits, I didn't even look at him. I was racing for him, where there was so much aggravation going on between each other. And then I signed, and I didn't feel all this relief and be happy and whatever. And then I came to Montreal. I looked out of the room and said, I'm not really motivated. He was my teammate at the time, just joined us. And I said, what the hell is going on here? You have a 2 million contract and you're not happy? So I was arguing with myself, went to the circuit, got in the car, got out of the pits, and suddenly I said, I have enough. And then I said, 2 million, are you nuts? So I came back into the pits. Please check my tire pressure and waste time in the pits to think. And then I said, no, I'm gonna go for it, because Bernie pays me, I'm happy. And Cosworth engine the first time, which was another little problem for me. I had 12-cylinder engines all the time. This Cosworth tickled me in the back, was not this high rev. Really, everything came together. Then I tried again, and I couldn't continue. So then I got out of the car, Went to Bernie. I said, Bernie, I want to retire. And then he took me to this little motorhome, and he said, Nicky, don't be stupid. Think about it again. You're emotional now. There's something happening which I cannot understand. Be fair and think about it again, which I'll never forget. Because he asked me to think again to not destroy or stop my career. I thought about it again. I said, Bernie, no, I'm sure this is my right decision. He said immediately, fine, I accept, but do me one favor, leave your helmet and overall with me. I said, why the hell you want my helmet? For good thinking or what? No, I need to find another driver. And he took it.
In the crowd.
Yeah. Found one in the paddock, Mr. Zunino or whatever. Zunino. Gave him my helmet, said, get in the car, Nicky is retiring. It was a good thing.
Let me ask you a question. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever asked you this. You didn't stop because he was quicker than you, did you?
No, I didn't know yet. No.
But he was quicker that day.
Yeah, he was good. No, he was very good. No, not true. I had enough, honestly.
I know, I'm joking.
Charlie and Herbie, what was it like? Your driver's retired halfway through
I
a
was
session.
his mechanic, and I built this new car for him for that race, and I was very proud of this
Fantastic
car.
car.
Yeah.
And he came in after practice and said, he said the rev counter's a little bit wonky. Can you fix that? And I thought, that's all? Fantastic. I'll please Nicky. You know, so get ready, waiting for him. Next practice. Where's Nicky? Looking around, where's Nicky? I had no idea. And I looked in the sort of hut that we use as a garage, and his bag was gone. That's a bit strange. Then it emerged that he'd left.
Yeah.
And that's all we knew as mechanics. We just knew Nicky wasn't coming anymore. We had to find another driver, and Bernie went and got one.
Talking of engines, what about that BMW that you had? Hey, that had some incredible power in qualifying, especially.
Yeah, but before that, the funny thing is, I was doing Formula 3, and this BS fabrication, Bob Spashel, came with a contract for me to drive Formula 1. And I said, Jesus Christ, what do I do? And Larry Parker said, look, only guy can help you to say something about this is Bernie Ecclestone. Who's this guy? Oh, this guy, they take over Formula 1. He knows everything. Anyway, I got the dress. I arrived there. I went to knock the door. The door a little bit open in Brabham. I look, and there was this guy sitting there. I said, Mr. Ecclestone, yes, can you help me? He said, what do you want? I said, oh, I'm doing Formula 3. I won a lot of races already, and I got this contract to drive Formula 1. And Larry asked if your opinion. In 2 seconds, he read the thing. Said, oh, it's very good. But if you are really good, you're tied with these guys. And he wrote down a way out. And I wrote down a way out. And I was in Monza, and then in the grid, the day that the Peterson died, and he came to me and said, you want to drive for me in Montreal? And I said,
Was this your first race in Montreal?
Yeah.
With me?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a one drive. I said, yeah, why not? He said, come in my office. And he took the contract, and he said, hi, can you read English? I said, more or less, and you have to write, I read and understood, and send the contract and put. And he said, you want to know how much money you go make? It's a 3 years contract. I said, you go pay me? Yes, I pay $50,000 a year, and 30% of the price. I said, it's good enough for me. I want to drive.
You did very well. We did some good deals for you, didn't we?
Yeah, because I got some sponsors. Every time I got a sponsor, I give to him. He said, when I check the check, I give you half. And he gave me half. Oh, it was very good. The first year, 79, geez, I made something like between the pro car and in sponsors and the prize money, you can put $500,000 I did. You know, I would expect to make no money. I didn't care. I want to drive.
That's a lot of trust. So you signed a 3-year deal and you had no idea of the terms of the...
No, I have no contract.
No.
He had a contract for 3 years. I didn't have it.
No, but this is important. If he says something, you don't even need to shake his hand. He was always firm. There was no discussion.
Those were the good days when, with the pro car as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, for example.
Because he won the pro car championship.
Yeah, I won the pro car championship, and the result of this was I get a pro car, a new one, as driving it. So Bernie took it away. It was the only misunderstanding, I think. I think it was fine.
Nothing to do with you.
But 40 years later, you're all still really close. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, when I joined Brabham, you guys had run off with all the money by 89 and left poor old Herbie to pick up the pieces. You'd gone to the FIA, Charlie, by then.
Yes, at the end of '87. Bernie suggested it, so...
Bernie suggested you went to the FIA?
Yeah. We didn't race in '88, and then it was reborn in '89, wasn't it? Yeah.
When Nicky retired, Charlie came to be my mechanic. We was together for 7 years. We won 2 championships together. Huh?
Yeah. That was after Nicky went. I
Yeah.
was on Nelson's car for 6
6
years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, good days.
Was he good? Did he complain about the car much? Or?
Very little, very little. My only complaint was he played too many jokes on us. There was once sitting on the grid somewhere, and he said, "Fuel leak. I think it's a fuel leak." I don't know. I went under the car. Oh God! Look, you could see this puddle. He couldn't be bothered to go to the toilet, and he did it in the car.
But when Nelson first turned
One of
up in
many.
Canada, he arrived there, he'd been boss suit, and he was all
No, it's not like this. They asked me to go to Canada, no? And geez, I have no money at all. I have 300 pounds with the money for the end of the year. And I said, I have no clothes. What I do? Geez, I went to Harrods. I bought a trousers, a shirt, and the shoes. And I was supposed to meet Gordon in Heathrow Airport. And I arrived there, I saw Gordon, Jesus, with the plastic sandal, with the trousers until here, designed a t-shirt, full of holes. I said, I spent my bloody money. And I arrived in the circuit. This guy here have a big hole in the trouser here in the back. And this hole was for 1 year. He had the same trouser. I said, well, bloody spend my money.
Let's talk about Gordon Murray, because he was pivotal in all of this, wasn't he, designing the car? He was one of the few guys you sort of kept on when you bought Brabham team.
Yeah, because I was told by Mr. Taranaki at the time, all the people that we should get rid of, and Gordon was one of them. And I said, well, we'll keep him for a start then. Get rid of the others. And that's what we did.
Your cars always looked beautiful, didn't they? You didn't ever have cigarette advertising on them, did you?
No.
Always really crisp white and blue cars.
Well, we never had cigarette on the car because I couldn't find the sponsor, that's all.
Is that right?
How I found this one was
This one being Herbie.
Herbie, because Herbie was with Jochen Rindt, who was a buddy of mine. And after the accident, Herbie sorted everything out for Colin, because we made sure Colin Chapman left the country immediately because they wanted to arrest everybody. They impounded the cars, didn't they? So Herbie stayed back, wasn't working for me at the time, was nothing to do with me, stayed back to sort that out. And the cars were locked up and whatever.
Let's
And
talk
so
about
that's when he started, that's how we got together.
drivers lost. Carlos Pache died in a plane crash. He was a Brabham driver for you at the
Yeah.
time, wasn't he? Which was a sad time. I was testing that day in Ricard when we lost Elio.
Yeah.
It was with the low car, wasn't it? Was it the 55? 55. That was a really sad day out, wasn't it? I mean, they're tough days for a team for people to get through, aren't they? If you're the guys that have, done somebody's seatbelts up and put their wheels on, they go out and they don't come back. How is that?
In those days, you waited. You waited for the car to come. It should be coming around now. You had no idea. You didn't have any radios, and then, of course, at that test, there were very few marshals, no communication. So you'd wait minutes, wouldn't you, to then say, "Well, he must have stopped. Let's go and have a look." And it was very hard in those days.
I went to Stefan Beloff's funeral. My teammate at Tyrrell, he died I saw him die in a sports car race at Spa, and I saw the destruction of his family and his friends and his girlfriend, and it really affected me, so I never went to a driver's funeral again after that while I was still racing. How do you it's really hard to get back in the car, isn't it, when you see something like that?
Carlos Reutemann was driving Vina, and he didn't want to go out, for qualifying something. I said, this is your job. This is what you do. You race. And
Let's
that was it.
talk about Nissan. The best time in Formula One for me was qualifying the BMW engine with quali tires.
Yes.
You have these two tires, for the car, and you go up to 300 horsepower more for qualifying. And you have to gas everything, because you arrive 30 kilometers quick in the straight, and you do the corner maybe 20 kilometers quick in the corners. And you have to gas. And you're sitting there and you eat the spaghetti and all the things, then you sit the car for one lap, you know. And why should I was supposed to do it? I go to the lap, screaming myself, to try to get very hard. And coming 200 meters before the check-in, go for. And that was the most exciting thing for me. It was a qualifying tire, that's so much power, it was very good. And they do one lap, another lap, and after you get 4 tires, maybe, and try again, but only for trying. Or maybe make traffic in the circuit for people to make it.
So you'd get out on a Saturday morning, wouldn't you, with your car, and then next time you got in, you had 400 horsepower more.
Yeah. And a softer tire.
And the soft tire.
So you creep really around. Soft tires.
Places like Monaco was like being in a spaceship, wasn't it? It was wonderful.
Yeah. Getting back to when Nicky joined us, his first test was here in Interlagos, and off he went. First lap out, no Nicky. Where is he? Well, he's obviously stopped on the circuit. Jump in a car, drive round to tow him back. Oh, he's obviously made it back. Get back to the pits, no Nicky. What's happened to him? This is the world champion. He's just joined us, number 1. What the hell's happened? So Charlie and myself, off we go again. So he's only gone off because of a brake failure, and he's trapped underneath this catch fencing. Trapped.
Don't forget.
Oh, yes. How long for?
And that was welcome to Brabham.
They missed me once, these idiots. I had to wait for 2 laps, everything over me. Everything was dripping, it's hot. I broke my arm as well, or my ankle here. Yeah. And then they picked me up, got the thing out.
You couldn't find him?
Then I got out of the car.
How things change.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. You know, that's what it was like then. You didn't know. And
It's true.
Just watching.
Gedini was here too.
Yeah,
I had to fly home.
You know, when you think today with this, with Max, and all the criticism about him, when you look at these 2 hooligans, you know, and you know, these guys today, I mean, he dealt with this situation very easy. I think Hockenheim, wasn't it, when he got out the car and had an argument.
Very good.
And he dealt with it in a very sensible way. Get out the car, go to the guy and give him a whack.
Salazar, what was his name?
Yes.
I never forget this picture.
Half of the story was filmed. Another half was not filmed. It was afterwards. That was really nice.
Did you have it? What happened afterwards? You remember?
Well, afterwards I was walking in the floor back, and a combi came behind and said, beep, beep. And I looked, it was a combi full of people. I said, you want to lift? Yes. I opened the door, Salazar was inside. I got him out.
I never knew that.
And got in the car, I said, let's go. The guy said, no. And the guy opened the door and went to get Salazar. And I closed the door, put the keys on and left. But they didn't look back, it was to put the combi full of people. And left the 2 guys there, Salazar and the driver there.
What did the steward say?
Oh, that's he started to laugh.
Another thing I remember, sitting in my Tyrrell on the grid in Austria, 86, and you appear to be pulling your drivers out of your cars and moving them around on the grid. Poor old Derek got thrown out, and you pulled his car forward, and Ricardo got in it.
Yeah, because we'd lost 1 car in practice. The car got burnt and we couldn't have a T-car. And then Ricardo had a gearbox failure. And I was on the grid trying to, with the side off the gearbox, trying to, my hand in red hot oil and trying to get these gears back in, but it was just impossible. So then Bernie said, you out the car and push the car up there. It wasn't very popular, were you?
No. But it worked.
But Derek...
But it worked.
Yeah.
Derek says you told him you'd make it up to him, but he can't remember when that happened.
No, but I will.
This is 86, so it's 30 years, isn't it? Good days. So what can we learn from then that we can apply now? Is there anything?
Sure. Get rid of all the rules. Overtaking rules. Go back to these days. Hit the guy if you're not happy. Honestly, we have to do something.
Absolutely.
We are over-regulated.
A little more randomness and a little more spontaneity would be nice. Yeah.
No rules, I tell you. Let them race, like in the old days.
We need to just change the sporting regulations. The beginning of the sporting regulations today says, do not race. So we need to change.
We'll just cross that bit out.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Charlie will be like, oh, is that the time already? I think we do need to move on. Gentlemen, that was fascinating. Thank you. I'd like to do it again because I think there's plenty more stories to tell yet. But it was really good to see you and good to see the spirit and the...
Well, it's great that we're all sat
The
down here still,
camaraderie.
and we can still laugh about it and still remember it, which is good.
Absolutely.
And I tell you one thing, I come here, see Formula One, only to see these people here.
Yeah.
That's really, if I stay home and watch TV. I only come to see Nick, see Bernie, and so many years together with them. It was fantastic. That's the only reason. It's a good friendship.
You achieved a lot together.
Yeah.
We did.